I want to thank everyone for being here today for an announcement on the date and details of the second gun buyback event. It has been almost 1 month to the day that we held our first gun back on Saturday, July 29th. Really, it's been a few months at Wheel Avenue Baptist Church. At that time, we did not know what to expect, but what I can tell you was an overwhelming success. It was scheduled to start at 8 a.m. and end at noon, but the response was so overwhelming, and people lined up in their vehicles and waited hours to turn in their guns to receive a gift card. In fact, through most of the day, the line was 2 miles long. We had to cut the line off about 7 p.m. instead of 12 noon, so it was more successful than any of us could imagine. Certainly wanted to thank the Houston Police Department for just doing a phenomenal job, Chief Fenner and his entire team. And a number of guns, as you all know, and it's been reported, were collected. They were guns, there were pistols, there were some manufactured weapons. I mean, you name it, they were all collected. The guns turned in will never be stolen or used in the commission of a crime, suicide, or an accidental shooting by a child. You know, we appreciate that. Today, I'm pleased to announce the date of the second gun buyback event. It will take place from 8 a.m. Again, we're saying to noon, but we will be flexible. On Saturday, October the 8th. Saturday, October the 8th, starting at 8 a.m. again at the Metro Park and Ride, located at 11,050 Harwin Drive. That's 11,050 Harwin Drive, and this too is in the Alief area, District F, in the 9th Congressional District. Our goal is the same for this event, to get guns off the streets. But we have to, but we will be tweaking the process to make it more efficient. And what I mean by that, you know, at Wheeler we had, Commissioner Ellis, we had one line, and it was a long line, 2 mile long. This time, with the support and help of HPD and Chief Fenner and his group, there will be more than one line, more than one drive-through line. So we're going to speed up the process by having more lines. People won't have to wait nearly as long. And then at the last gun buyback program, because we couldn't reach everyone, we gave out 150 priority vouchers, passes for the next time. So those who receive those 150 priority pass vouchers will be allowed to come to the front of the line from the first event for this one. Kristen Ogorafor, you should be standing close by here. I don't know why you're sitting over there. We will not, and let me underscore this, we will not be accepting any privately manufactured weapons, those ghost guns. That will not be a part of this effort, okay? So they will, let me just repeat that, we will not be accepting any privately manufactured weapons as we did the first round. So not allowed, don't expect any gift cards for those privately manufactured weapons. And again, we're not asking any questions. You remain in your vehicles. You do not have to get out your vehicles. You can go to the multiple lines, and then we will take it from there. I know people question whether gun buybacks are worth it. Again, let me say what we've said before. The answer is yes. If we take only one gun off the street that could have been stolen or used to injure or kill someone, then the initiative has been worth it. Every gun we can get off the street today can help us create a safer tomorrow for everyone in our community. The gun buyback is one tool in the One Safe Houston initiative, a comprehensive, holistic approach to reduce gun violence. And today, violent crime is down 10+%, and the murder rate is down by 3%, as I looked at the numbers this morning. But we're not satisfied until no one has been killed in our city and violent crimes are at their lowest point. So we will continue to work collectively to make that happen. Now let me just yield, and let me first bring up Chief Fenner, who will be followed by Congressman Al Green. So Chief Fenner.
Thank you, Mayor. Really quickly, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank our congressional members for the support, Mayor One Safe Houston, our council members, and most important, the citizens of Houston. Whenever you see an outpouring like we did, the participation, it's successful. And we expect the same thing. A few lessons learned from HPD. We have stepped up and we will have more lines. We'll be sending out more information as days come. Bring your patience. We'll get you through quicker. And as the mayor said, those with priority will be moved up to the front of the line. And look, let me say this, because we didn't have this in our policies last time. The privately manufactured guns, you call them ghost guns or 3D, whatever you want to, we're not accepting them. You can bring them in. We'll accept them, but you're not getting any money for it, okay? So let's just put that out there and be honest and transparent about it. It's about people bringing in guns. And any gun that comes in, it's a win for the city and the win for the citizens in the Houston region. And we want to keep that going. So proud about the turnout on last time. And we expect even more on this time, and we'll get everybody through that we can. And I know the mayor said we're targeting to start at 8 a.m. again at 12, but pretty much the troops know we're probably going to go beyond that. So just glad and proud of the support that we have here. So thank y'all.
Before Congressman Green comes and Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, I do want to note this. This is an initiative working in collaboration, of course, with our federal partners, but with the county. Again, Commissioner Rodney Ellis has first and foremost working with the county. So thank you, Commissioner Ellis, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Certainly want to acknowledge her as well. But the One Safe Houston program is being underwritten by $53 million. Those are $53 million coming from opera funding. So before the congressperson comes up, I wanted to note that this is a $53 million program, the gun buyback program. $1 million of that 53 goes to the gun buyback program. And as the last time, we end up distributing close to $100,000 for that program. This gun buyback program is built in that One Safe Houston, and we anticipate doing another $100,000 and hopefully even more. But I want to acknowledge the fact that but for the federal dollars, but for the opera funding provided by the Biden administration, we would not be able to do these gun buyback programs, and then working in collaboration with the county. So please give it up to the congressional delegation for these dollars.
Thank you very much, Mayor, for your very kind words, and thank you for your stewardship in managing the funds that the federal government does return to Houston. And I put the emphasis on return because these are our tax dollars that are coming back to our coffer out of the federal government's coffer. I want to thank the Commissioner, Commissioner Ellis. He is a great partner to work with. He's someone that understands these issues quite well and has done an outstanding job of imparting knowledge about what we're trying to accomplish to the community. The City Councilwoman, I want to thank you very much for all of your labors on City Council to help make this possible, working with the mayor, as well as all of the other persons who are here that are associated with this endeavor. And of course, my colleague, Garcia, I thank you. And I thank Jackson Lee, I thank Lizzie Fletcher, because we all voted for this. We voted for it. And I'm not going to stand here and claim more than I deserve. I deserve to have you know that you have people in Congress from Houston who work together, vote together, and together we make things like this possible, working with the mayor, working with the commissioners, and working with other persons who are interested in these issues. Finally, this, dear friends, it's important to note that no questions are being asked. There's no one who's going to try to somehow find out how you acquired this weapon on this occasion or whatever. This is all about getting the guns off the street. So you need not be concerned about questions that are going to be asked. Unless you show up and say something that would prompt a question, then the chief has a duty to ask, okay? But the next point, we want you to know that I agree with the mayor. This is a means by which we can save lives. There's no way to prove the number of lives that will be saved, but we do know that if that gun is not on the street, it won't be a part of any violence. So please, bring your weapons in. You can get up to $200 depending on the type of weapon. And you can help us to make Houston a safer community for all of our people. And I want to say especially our children, because I cannot help but mention the 19 that lost their lives in a school here in Texas, babies. Let's see what we can do to save some of these babies and prevent this from ever happening again. Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you all persons who are associated with this. And again, my colleagues and I all voted for it. It wasn't just a vote from Al Green. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to everyone here on the stage. I know that all of us have worked together on making sure that we reduce gun violence in Houston and Harris County. That's the goal. And I think when we think about this, Mayor, it's important to remember the big picture. There are 400 million guns in circulation in the United States of America. That's a lot of guns. It is more guns than people in population. For those smarty pants, you know that we are a population of about 330 million people in the United States. That's more guns than people. Why? That's why gun buyback programs work. The more guns you get out of circulation, the less violence, and you prevent crime. So I believe in gun back programs because they work. There was 3,600 Texans who died last year. Think about how many lives may have been saved when you know that 3,600 died. Gun violence is now the number one death reason for children. Not diabetes, not sickle cell anemia, not heart disease, but death from gun violence is the number one cause of death for children. And as my colleague said earlier, it really is about the children. Think of the lives we could have saved in Uvalde and in other of these shootings that have been happening across the country. And in Texas, it's easier to buy beer than it is. It's easier to buy their AR-15 than it is to buy beer. I was saying that backwards. Because at least at the liquor store, you get carded. And you can't do it till you're 21. In Texas, you could be 18 and order online or walk into a store and buy an AR-15. And the smarty pants in the room know that AR-15s are the automatic weapons, military style. So we need to get to the root of the problem, and that to me, it's all about the guns. Less in circulation, it just makes sense that crime will go down. But as the mayor indicated through the American Rescue Plan, those of us in Congress, including Congressman Green, Sheila Jackson Lee, Lisa Fletcher, myself, we passed the American Rescue Plan, and as the mayor said, $53 million have come to Houston, where they've used it for these gun back programs. They've used it for crime prevention programs. They've used it to continue the fight against crime. We all want safer communities. Anyone who suggests any different is just not looking at the big picture. And this last week, we voted for more dollars to be coming down to cities across America. We're hopeful that the Senate will pass the bill, but if the bill that we just passed on Friday would even go to recruitment and retention of police officers for all communities of less than 125 officers. Yes, that will not include Houston, Chief Fenner, because you've got 125 probably never shift or more. But it'll help communities like Jacinto City, Galena Park, probably Alief, a number of communities around the area, because when you talk about crime, it's not just Houston, it's the entire area of the Houston area. It also will include money for mental health workers to go on the scene with police officers to get directly at some of the cases that they handle that are more than just about crime, it's about the mental health issues. It'll include funding programs that are evidence-based, that will go about gun prevention. So Chief, that you can apply for. And it'll also include programs funding for improvement of the clearance rates and homicides. So we've been working hard with our local partners on all these initiatives, and we're trying to do more and more. I've never seen a mayor and a county judge more focused on getting to reducing crime violence in our region. And we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to help fund it as much as we can from the federal level. And Mayor, I'm going to have to say it, I mentioned a lot of people, right? 4 members of Congress. I did not mention a Republican. Truth is, they don't vote for these bills, but they like to talk about us being for defunding the police and being for this and this. But we need to look at who's getting it done and who's doing what needs to be done. And that's our mayor, our county judge, our county commissioner, our council members. They are working because they all know that we want and need safer communities. And lastly, I'll finish with this. One child's life is worth more than all the guns in the world. Let's continue to do what we can to improve and do more gun buyback programs, because we need to be about the business of saving our children's lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Turner. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank your team as well. When we had the first gun buyback, to be honest with you, we were a little worried a week before the event on how many people would show up. We were shocked that so many people did show up. So I want to thank you, Mayor, and your team. Because of lax gun laws in Texas, our community is drowning in a sea of guns. Congresswoman, you're right. That figure of 400 million guns comes from the Pew, a very reputable source on how many guns are in America. That's more than enough guns for every man, woman, and child in the country. I'm excluding all of the guns that the military has, and Chief Fenner, all of the guns that you and the sheriff and all law enforcement have. We're very appreciative to our federal partners, Congressman Al Green, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Congressman Sylvia Garcia, and Lizzie Fletcher in particular for giving us this money. So I want to give you another round of applause for doing that. While we don't control guns in this state, we're not powerless to take guns off the street. Our first gun back program was an incredible success, Mayor, as you pointed out. Based on the research we've done, 900 guns, it was the second most significant gun buyback program in the history of America. In Tampa, where the storm may hit our friends soon, they netted 1,000 guns in Texas, including the problem with guns. And let me remind you that this is Suicide Prevention Month. So those 900 guns, that's 900 less guns in the hands of somebody who could have committed suicide. Is a gun buyback program the end all? No. Will this initiative by itself solve all our problems? No. But I'll tell you what we're not willing to do. These Congress people, the Councilwoman, Judge Hidalgo, Commissioner Garcia, and I voted for it. These members of Congress, we're not willing, we're not just going to sit back and hope and pray that gun violence will go away. Every time there's a murder, you hear all kinds of people on the news coming up with a host of reasons on why they think a crime has been committed. Some of the reasons are right, but rarely do you hear somebody talk about the influx of guns in our society. For our part, Harris County has set aside $1.1 million for gun buybacks. The city has set aside $1 million. It's all federal money. This upcoming A-Leaf event, I hope, if not as large as the last one, will at least be as large as what they had in Tampa, Florida. And this is just one piece of a broader commitment to deal with violence prevention. Harris County and the City of Houston have mobilized resources with absolute emergency in a full court press to reduce violence in our communities. On the county side, we've dedicated $1.4 billion of our annual budget to justice and public safety. That's the largest amount ever allocated in the history of Harris County on Judge Hidalgo's watch as the face of our court. We're rolling up our sleeves and getting to work on smart and meaningful programs, and we are benefiting from mistakes that other gun buyback programs around the nation have had. We're nimble. As the mayor said, we learned a few things from the first one, and we're implementing those things in future ones. We're going to do as much as we can to get the word out from the county side. Judge Hidalgo, Commissioner Garcia, our state reps, some have called, the city council people. The real key is to get the word out. It's a safe, secure way to get some of those guns off the street. So on behalf of the county, we're glad to participate, and it won't be the last one. Thank you.